DM.
Oh, no, Jim.
I'd imagine so.
Jim was my gunslinger. Yeah.
Gigantic city battle and then pirates?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and Bryce Holyfist?
Bryce Holyfist, who you guys were convinced was the gay lover of Goliath Flamebearer.
Oh, shit, I forgot. I remember I kept my days busy at the end. My, epilogue was that I got my own boat and ran a protection racket with, with the pirate queen.
Regina.
Yeah, I would,
Regina.
Oh, man.
I still have the folder with all that stuff in it.
Jim Hawkins. Remember that was his name. Or no, Jim...
He just walked into the desert.
Speaking of the cowboy voice is real easy. That's half the reason I did this character. It's just so much damn fun. It's also the character in one of my main games, so I only got to play it once so far. My monk died, so I needed to replace him.
To give you a sense of what my... I modeled this character off of Raphael from Soul Calibur.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
when you find out more about my character, you might be enthused.
I believe I will. But yeah, so I was like, okay, I took Raphael, edited him a little bit, and gave him a backstory.
There you go.
But I was like, I like the...
Does he have, the pose?
Yeah.
Nice strip back in.
Thanks.
Your character may or may not notice that ornate sword I'm carrying is a long rapier.
Probably would. Swordsman.
Rapist.
We tried to get one on Amazon, but it wasn't going to come in time.
Like the rapist for 3
I wanted to get a real one. But that would have been too much.
For a costume, yes.
Yeah. Actually, I'm curious, if I can ask opinion. If I brought a real sword, would that have surprised anyone?
No.
I didn't think so.
I would have just been surprised that you spent the money on one.
I've always wanted
I've just been
one.
curious as where you got it.
And quickly.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get them off
Spencer's
Amazon.
got a sword. Look where he got it.
This is the guy who bought a gun safe on Amazon.
That's where he keeps his rapiers.
No, those are in the sword safe.
Yeah.
Alright, so you two, because we haven't described what you've all seen,
Oh,
you two
yeah.
are still just kind of hanging out by the fire. You're just seeing what everyone else is seeing. Well, you rolled a 1, right?
Yeah.
So you're just obsessed with the skull. You're gnawing on. You two see the young man with the sling. He is stalking
Oh, no.
God damn it.
on the other side of the town square, and you see a woman walk up towards him, late 30s to early 40s. Can't hear what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
She says something to him. He kind of brushes past her and just keeps walking. She trails after him.
How did, I know we couldn't see what they were saying. Could we tell what the vibe was at all?
Insight?
Yeah, roll insight.
21.
Wow.
Uh,
What a sigh for?
Oh, I was doing math.
Okay.
she
Sorry, it wasn't like a-
looks slightly concerned for him.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's fed up with her shit.
I was worried my character's OP. Fucking 20s over here.
And that will end. Don't you worry.
Not more chances
We
for
are right
stealth.
by a body of water.
Yep.
That was ominous.
Then
So
again,
far-
you need a reason. For
Yeah, I was
stealth.
going to say, so far I haven't needed
You can't
for
be like,
stealth.
I want to stealthily look at the fire.
Stealthily have another trail.
Friends, I just noticed my boy I've apparently...
Gimpy!
Yes, the young man with the salmon sling. Talking to some woman.
Are you gonna cock block him now too?
He seems to be doing that to himself, honestly. But I don't know the way those men are treating this boy.
I wonder if that's why they call him
Yes.
Gimpy.
Has anyone called him Gimpy but you?
One of the
You'd
girls
know
was
that more
saying-
than anyone.
Oh, did you see a G in her apple peel? But no, I mean, this.
That one lingered a bit.
No, I just seem worried about this young man, the way those men were treating him, this talk with this woman who seems concerned, who seems angry. Well,
Where are they going? I don't even see them.
stalked off that way.
Over yonder.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
She's like,
That's why I
That
asked.
totally sound like a lie. I love it.
no.
Sure.
Like, I'm so much taller than her. How did I not see it?
Would you... Shall we investigate people to see what's going on?
Sure.
I
At
mean,
this point, my attention snaps to them and away from the fire that I was drunkenly looking at.
I don't know.
I'll go see.
All right, some people say I butt in, but yes.
Well, we might need someone to clean up after you if you make a scene like in the bar.
He was in water. He was clean.
No cleaning necessary.
You've got a damn fine
Did
way
you
to make
see that
sense,
water?
friend.
Like, I didn't. Well, I didn't kill nobody. The sword didn't leave the scabbard.
The water was a little pukey, is what he's saying.
I understand. Wasn't bloody. That's all that matters.
May have been a little bloody.
Well, maybe that. But I was
All right.
everybody.
Better catch up with your boyfriend.
All right.
I didn't mean it like that.
That's quite all right. I didn't see a G in my apple peel.
Okay, so do you all follow?
I imagine the apple
I'm
peel was
following.
still on your face.
I'm gonna follow them, yeah.
Yeah, it was like somewhere you couldn't see it beyond the wrappings. I was saving that.
Like hanging off the hat. And it looks like a G.
Looks like a D.
All right, yeah, we'll follow. Just see where they went.
Okay.
You'll butt in, as adventurers do.
Is only the best.
Is this our business? No? All right.
I got something to say.
All right. So let's say they trailed off this way. So if you follow, it's a little less developed along here, more grassy areas, some trees. You encounter a handful of people dressed in different costumes.
I want to take a costume. Just somebody walking by. I'm just going to grab something. What can I grab? Maybe I don't even care if they notice because I'm big enough that what the fuck are they going to do?
Gar in the Me Too movement.
Nice. And I imagine the sheet is like down to the knees on a regular person. Maybe it's like to the hip or something.
Little crop top action.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I couldn't
You're
process.
horrible.
I just heard, I just want to see what I can grab. I'm just gonna grab something going by.
Oh my god.
Is there how big is Gar?
He is 6 foot and he weighs 295.
Okay, are you tall?
I'm 6'2".
So
Or
weird.
6'1".
I'm not even 3
Yeah,
feet
no,
tall.
we're big boys
so-
and somebody can fit in a satchel.
How tall are you?
6'2".
Okay, alright, so you guys are taller than me.
How perceptive are you guys?
Pretty
Perceptive.
Yeah.
All right.
Miss.
I wear a bulky cloak. I'm a very slender individual.
Interesting.
I'm 6'1", about 155.
Jesus. Well, you sure you don't want to grab any meat out there, son?
Blow away on the
I'm
wind.
fine.
Watch the updraft there.
Just gonna open this cloak and like fly away.
He seems suspicious enough.
Get your lasso. We'll get him.
Oh, you bet your ass my rope is tied to a lasso.
A 50-foot lasso. How hard would that be to throw? Yeah. It just keeps
Well, it
going.
would
Like,
depend. It would depend on what the
Like a
loop
kite.
is.
Ginny's holding onto the edge of his nose.
You know, it's another
like a kite.
SpongeBob reference with the one with the runner from Sandy. The lasso just comes out of nowhere and grabs Patrick.
Boy, I wasn't expecting the SpongeBob news tonight.
Always expects.
I'm
Why-
sorry,
why-
Rob.
why-
Roll perception.
20.
18.
4.
6.
But that's a nat 1.
All right.
Hey!
Nice. Wow, she's very perceptive.
Suddenly.
22. Suddenly perceptive. Yeah. Took me
4. Man, I'm looking for ground.
You see a group of people slicing open a pig by a tree. The pig is tied to the tree.
Alive?
No, it's dead.
Okay, okay.
You can tell that they're basically like cleaning it, trying to get the meat. It seems like it's going on a lot throughout the village.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have any lights, or does it look like they're doing this covertly?
There are a couple of torches and
Okay.
lanterns.
So
When you
doing
say
kind of-
throughout the village, like people cleaning out animals, or like specifically animals tied to trees being gutted,
Um,
if we had noticed.
just animals. You can infer that this is what the 4 men who were all bloodied were doing.
Okay, cool.
Fair enough.
Again, part of the Samhain festivities, they're prepping for winter, basically slaughtering whatever livestock they feel needs to be slaughtered to help them through the winters. You also see a group of people. They wander up to the back door of a nearby house. A woman comes to the door. She gives them 3 apples and a satchel, and then they continue on. And she goes back inside the house.
Okay.
Man, where I come from, I never would have seen anyone doing this kind of work.
Gotta cut with the grain.
You also notice that they are that there is a bucket that they're letting the blood dribble into.
Okay.
So they're catching blood. It's not just going on in the
I've seen ranchers gut a pig before, but never on this scale.
Usually it's already on the plate when I see it.
Just like
Fair enough.
separating the blood.
Well, it looks like they're taking out the other parts too.
Yeah. Same thing you do with eggs.
Is there a prom coming up?
Appreciate that.
I want to try to keep my attention on Gimpy and the lady following him.
You don't see them.
Shit. Well, their friend's gone.
I'm trying to run it down again.
Hope you don't find him tied to a tree getting cut up.
If we do, then we'll dole out some real justice.
Well, I'd rather not have
Why?
it get to that.
Murder an innocent? That ain't alright.
How do you know he's innocent?
Did you see the pig? Wait,
You
you
know
said it
he's
wasn't
not.
alive.
It was not
It's
alive.
not alive.
Why is it squealing?
He's making squealing.
Really
Just something
rusty
Dungeon
saw.
Masters do.
Blade.
Maybe you're hearing squeals off in the distance.
Somebody's making tea.
Some lamb tea.
Some pork tea.
Sorry for the wild goose chase.
I hope we didn't miss anything at the bonfire.
Yeah, let's go back and find out.
You want to take a dip in the lake?
You're gonna have to specify what. I'm looking at this pitcher of blood. Just, you want to take a dip?
Yeah, water might weigh you down some.
I'm all right. But if you folks are headed back to the fire, I guess I'll come with. I don't think the Brandy Buttons would like me showing up early and unaccompanied.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I could certainly wash some sins off of me.
Damn.
Jesus.
Everyone.
I was waiting to see if it was a joke or not.
Like,
we've all got.
this is haunted because I'm just imagining this hulking half-orc in like a kid's house.
You can't see his
I'm
face.
gonna wash some sin off him.
You can't even see the expression. You're not sure if he's joking.
You just see the eyes just looking 1,000 yard stare.
And then he sort of like hops.
Yeah, we all got dirt to rub off, I'm sure.
I could soak my feet.
What about you, Miss Brandy Button?
I'll go along.
All right. Water might be cold. I don't want you catching any illnesses.
Oh, I'm okay. For what? You can't get sick just from being cold and wet.
Cold and drunk.
That is true.
It's a rare illness called drowning.
Water sickness, they call it.
That is a good point, but I want to try too.
How cold is the water as I dip my feet in?
Oh,
I'm
we're
gonna-
there already.
Oh, yeah,
I'm running in.
Get your feet out of the
I mean,
blood.
it's a little ways. Like, I'm thinking we'll go.
Another thinker.
We'll swing by the campfire.
Okay, got
Get
it.
warmed up once, and then
He just
head
took
to-
off. He's gone into the water.
Well, I think of it more as like I've been drinking wine all night. I'm 155 pounds. Like I remember being
Have
here.
you eaten today?
No, not much.
He ate a single hazelnut.
All right. So which path are you guys taking?
I'm gonna go this way, past the houses.
Okay.
Just swing by the campfire, see what's going on, see if anything has changed, and then we'll head south.
Okay. You notice that there are more people there than there were before, but there's still plenty of people out and about doing a bunch of other things.
Okay. I'm gonna try to scare somebody. Can I roll intimidation?
Yeah, go ahead.
Boo! I'm a ghost. I am your ancestors, and they see you unfavorably. What is my...
I mean, this, I know I've said this before, but it always gets my goat. Reminds me of a orc rogue
12.
who has no stealth and jumps into
Just like some
You
14-year-old girl. Boo!
She jumps, but her younger sister, who's probably 5, starts bawling.
What a dick.
Happy Samhain. Sorry. I'm gonna take the costume off. Put it on this fellow.
That
I'm gonna
wasn't
slowly
cool.
just take that.
Happy Samhain.
Just
What?
totally feel like shit now. I'm moping as we go back to the water.
Okay.
It was a nice try.
It was too much.
All right. You see, you notice that the 4 individuals who came in sopping wet, they are still out in the lake.
This guy's gonna be pruned to hell.
They are quite drunk. Probably don't care if they're pruned.
How far out in the water are they?
They're up to their chests.
Nipple height
several-
as far as you go.
Several empty bottles of alcohol floating around them. You can hear them.
Those are 5 cents each. I mean 5 copper.
You can hear them chanting to the Aos Si, asking for good fortunes.
Have I ever heard of that?
Roll Arcana.
I'm already running one page of notes.
-1.
Running out of space on
That's
that one
an
page
18.
I devoted to notes.
Do you want to?
You have
Okay,
heard of the
I've got it.
Aos Si. You know that
Yeah,
they're
we both brought
basically
You sure?
fairies, fairies and
notepads.
spirits.
Oh, I got plenty of empty space on this page.
Alright.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Is it a specific sort of AOC they're praying to, like a water-based one, or is it just in general?
Just in general. Since you rolled Arcana,
18.
you know that this is something that
That's their chant.
you know that this is something people will
Listen to
do
me.
during Samhain festivals. They'll walk into Lake Erie up to either their waist or their chest, and they'll pour out different kinds of alcohol and pray to the spirits to bestow blessings on them.
Okay. Well, I haven't got alcohol. It's in me, though, so taking a dip might as well be good enough. I'm just gonna, I'm going to remove my, I'm wearing a yukata over my armor, so I'm gonna remove that, fold it very neatly and reverently, and place it somewhere, with my, my dagger upon it, and then I'm gonna wade out into the water.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Good.
keep my distance from those gentlemen.
Yeah. Wherever he put his stuff where it's dry,
Yep.
I'm just standing there.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stare and look at the water and think, why are they doing this right now? Why are they going in the water? I don't know if I'm drunk enough to go in the water. I think I'll just watch.
Okay.
He has the most sense among us.
So I'm going to walk past where the gear is.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes awfully like the green.
I was kidding. I figured.
The orange cupcake tastes like a green one.
So I'm going to walk past where the gear is. And, you know,
Richard.
kind of shroud myself in my dark gray cloak.
Mm-hmm.
Try to blend in a little bit. Just get a little space. And stay as shrouded as I can
You're
easily
getting
be.
splashed.
But as shrouded as I can be from the gentlemen that are nipple height into the water. And I'm going to slip off my shoes and just stick my feet in. What temperature is the water?
It is a couple degrees above freezing.
Oh shit. Penguin dive.
I feel restored, sharper, and then a good mood.
Okay.
I just like can't adapt.
How long are you two in the water, would you say?
I'm there long enough for a prayer to Alora, so probably a minute and a half, and then I'm back out.
How long does it take Hypo for me to set up?
About 3-4 minutes.
Okay.
You know, not to the point of hurting myself.
Alright, I was just going to have you both roll Constitution.
Okay, fair enough.
Just because it's that.
I'll do that. I am a half orc. I'll do that. I like my chances. 16.
You can start to feel your toes. And
Lord be
fingers.
praised. Lord be praised. I'm getting out.
Yeah, you can start to feel like your toes and the bottom of your feet going down. But you get out and you're fine. Same thing with you. I'd say you basically just get your feet wet.
Yeah.
Your feet basically go numb.
All right.
So when you pull your feet out, you need to take like a minute or two just to...
Yeah, I'm just reworking them,
Yeah.
using my hands, working them, getting the circulation back. Yeah, that sounds about right. All my stats blow.
Enjoyed your float,
It's like
D?
squishy.
Yeah, I'm squishy.
I don't know how those guys manage it. It's cold.
They seem deep in their cups.
It's this cold.
Oh, do you actually touch my face?
Yes. Definitely putting it against your wrappings.
It doesn't feel as soft as you would expect a face to feel.
Oh. Except
I don't think I noticed.
I
I'm too,
can't
like,
know
I'm-
that. 'cause
yeah,
I
the
didn't
giddiness.
touch you.
Do you basically like punch me in the face because you're so excited?
No.
Look how cold it
I
is.
definitely lost the feeling in the hand, though, so I may not have gotten the whole thing, especially being a little drunk. You wouldn't want to go out there until good.
Yeah.
So you've all come back together from your excursions to the lake.
Is there a dock here?
There is a dock.
Like, are there boats out in the water?
There are no boats out on the water.
Okay. But moored.
They are wharfed.
Also, minor point of differentiation.
Yes.
This is not a lake, it's a cove, correct?
No. It's that lake right there.
Yeah, which connects to the ocean.
Ooh.
Which would make it a cove or grotto.
I mean, they call it a lake.
Oh yeah, that's fine, I'm just saying.
These backwoods folks, they don't have your urbane sensibilities.
They ain't got that education.
Call it the ocean. That's the ocean. That's the ocean. You having some of that grape ocean?
Grapes.
But you do notice there's probably, I don't know, a dozen boats on the wharf. Clearly not enough for there to be one for, say, like every family or every person.
Are those guys still out there? I'm getting worried about them. Out in the water.
Roll perception. All of you.
20.
Ooh.
Well.
20.
That one.
2.
Alright, you two go slightly blind for a half second. You two notice that more and more people are starting to gather towards the large bonfire in the village square. A couple of the drunks out in the lake seem to notice this, and they come hurrying back in.
Okay.
One of them is taking a swig from a bottle of alcohol. One stumbles and just completely submerges himself, but then comes back up and they're all basically running towards the bonfire.
What in the nine hells?
You're not going to hold out your foot and trip one?
That seem to be doing that fair enough themselves.
I think we should go check it out. Sounds like I can use a drink. The fire.
I'm in.
Let's do it.
Okay. I think I'm going to follow the halfling. She knows the area.
That's
she
true.
knows the place.
I do know the area.
I'm starting to sober up after that dip.
It was cold.
All right.
good.
So you return to the village square. You see that most everyone who is in the village has gathered around the large bonfire.
Any music?
There is music.
So it's not like a creepy...
No.
ghost area.
No,
Ghost stories?
There's much frivolity going on. You know, a lot of people clapping each other on the back, laughing, having a good time. It was you two that rolled high.
I know.
Halfling in New York.
All right, so you two notice that everyone seems to have both a small pebble and a knife in their hands.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna see if I can find a pebble.
Let's say you find one by your feet.
I'll draw my knife.
But they're not holding the knives or the pebbles in any sort of threatening manner. It's just kind of like by their sides.
I put mine out, pick up a pebble.
He has the power.
You start to see some of the children you had noticed earlier who were with the man with the cowhide. They are dancing through a crowd of people and they're coming towards the bonfire. This ignites a large cheer amongst the crowd. It seems like this is part of the ritual. Like you had been saying earlier, it seems like this is sort of the quote-unquote grand finale.
All right.
So the first young child has a basket that's filled with pumpkins. Second one, different apples. Let's see what they have.
Human heads,
It's the usual. Different gourds, pumpkins, meat spreads. They all gather around, basically circle the bonfire. Following the children is the man wearing the cowhide. He is strutting his stuff. He's coming in. He's swinging it around.
Cowman.
He's dancing around. This ignites a large cheer amongst the people. It seems like, again, this is part of the show of
This is the good part.
whatever's going on.
Cowman.
Following
I was observing the night.
No, over here, the cowman. You missed him. He's coming through again.
So he basically dances around the fire and stops, say, at like the northernmost point of the fire. Following the cowman is an old woman, hunched over, looks, I would get human. I'd guess probably 70s. Hair is steel gray, tied up into a very tight bun, hunched over a cane. And she stops directly next to the man with the cowhide. And everyone, she holds up a hand, and everyone basically falls silent.
I'm gonna look closely at the woman.
Okay.
Any hidden doors?
Is she an islander? Is she originally from the island?
Yes.
Okay. That answers my question.
Okay.
I was going to see if I recognized her.
As you all know, and this is the old woman speaking, we've come here every year to give thanks and to praise the Aos Si in our Samhain festival. This ignites a large cheer amongst the crowd.
Hell yeah! Samhain.
Happy Samhain!
Where'd my costume go?
Oh, you dropped it back there.
Remember, you went swimming.
She holds up the hand again. Crowd falls silent. I know we have all had very healthy bounty this year. The gods were very good to us this year. And now it is time to not only thank them for what they've given us, but to ask for more in the coming year. We now offer this sacrifice for the Aos Si and the gods, the old gods that have watched over us for centuries. Small children then proceed to toss the contents of their baskets into the fire. At this point, all that can be heard is the wind rustling through some of the trees, and the snapping of the fire and the hazelnuts that are in the fire. The man wearing the cowhide then peels it off. Appears he is...
Just a normal guy, nothing weird.
I'm not a guy.
he's
You
a
said
cow-
we only recognized the legs as human, so.
He is. You recognize him now. You know what? Roll perception checks.
14.
15.
9.
21.
All right, you three notice that he is a half-elf. Older. Again, by half-elf age. Definitely not young, but definitely doesn't look as old as the old woman.
Mm. An islander? Or does he look familiar?
He is an islander.
Got it.
He pulls off the cowhide in a very dramatic fashion. His face is now stony and serious. He tosses the cowhide onto the fire.
No, cowman!
Damn. A couple people look at you.
Cowman.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's large enough that it smothers the fire for a brief second, but then because it's so dry, it goes up like that, and the fire burns even larger. Now we have made the sacrifice of what the gods have given us, and now it is time for us to make the sacrifice of ourselves for the gods.
Yeah.
This is it. This is where everything goes bad.
We do have knives.
They already put the pumpkins on.
So it can't get worse from here.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You then see that all of the villagers take their knives, they slice open a tiny part of their palm,
Always.
they take the little pebble, and they rub it against the blood. Get it nice and coated in the blood.
You doing it?
They then toss it into the fire. This is going on in silence.
Yeah, no, I'll pick up a pebble and kind of look at it.
So you basically look in any direction, you see people doing this. And no one looks like this is weird or anything. Like,
Okay.
People are basically like, this is the norm.
I'm participating.
So if seeing
I've
this,
done my part.
I stretch a little bit,
Okay.
or I make like I'm throwing something, but I want to palm someone else's rock. I'm really trying to look like I'm throwing, but actually I'm catching someone's.
Roll sleight of hand.
18?
We'll see you pull it off.
All right. Do I know whose it came from?
No.
Okay.
It's basically just one that came from behind you.
Okay.
I'm gonna, I got the pebble,
Okay.
and I'm sort of gonna mime the action they're all doing,
Okay.
but not actually cut through. I'm not even taking my glove off. Just kind of look at my hand for a second. Kind of just...
Roll sleight of hand as well.
Alright.
Nice dice.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah, those are cool.
Sleight of hand, dexterity. 18?
Yeah, no one notices.
Okay.
You might get one or two people kind of looking at you sideways, like, did he really just? But no one is like, you didn't do it.
Yep. Gotta
So-
look at my hand.
I didn't notice.
And now, the old woman, the old half-elf, they bow their heads, and everyone else bows their head, and the old woman says, "Old gods, take these sacrifices from the past and the future, and look out for us, and guide us into a happy and prosperous future. We also ask that you look over our fallen brother, Cull Joshua, who died tragically in the past week in the fields. He was a foolish boy. He should not have gone out there drunk, but he did, and we ask that you guide him into the great beyond." Roll perception checks.
You die.
20?
16.
15.
12.
You all begin to hear sort of like a murmuring. The old woman is continuing to, offer up praise to the old gods, to the Aos Si. Seems like a very rehearsed speech, the kind of thing she would give every year. The mutterings and murmurings grow louder, more pronounced. Where are you four around the bonfire, would you say?
I think we're probably on the water
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we came up that way.
So probably somewhere around here, you start to notice a little bit of commotion. Maybe some pushing and shoving. The old woman stops her prayers, and her and the old man look towards where the commotion is.
I'm gonna look towards where the commotion
Do
is.
we see Gimpy?
Roll perception checks again.
I'm sorry. I didn't do it, but
There we go.
By the way,
Yes.
when I looked behind me
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't tell whose rock I had taken,
Okay.
can I tell who's behind me at least? Like try to remember what they look like vaguely?
Sure.
Cool. You said perception check?
Yeah.
14.
Is that for whoever's behind you, or just looking at what everyone else is looking at?
What everyone else is looking at.
Okay.
For behind me, I was just trying to like vaguely
Okay.
be like, all right, blonde hair, whatever.
You do see the boy with a gimpy arm.
Alright, I rolled a 22.
18.
This is for everyone.
Was that a nat 22?
You do see the boy with the gimpy arm. You also see the older woman who was with him. She looks kind of like could be his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Also see an older man, probably mid to late 40s. Black hair, but starting to go a little bit gray. There's also a daughter with them who has blonde hair. They all have the same facial features, all the same look. So you can tell that they all are from the same family.
but they're not all Gimpy.
They're not all gimpy. Only the boy is has his arm in a sleeve.
He's the only one a little short-handed.
You notice that the older woman is a half-elf, but the man is a human, and the two children appear to be more human than half-elf. Commotion continues. The old woman tries to hold up her hand again, but the people around the family are not quieting down. If anything, they're getting more agitated. The father is kind of pushing back, trying to keep the people away, but that's only inflaming the issue.
I am going to approach,
I
make my
am
way through
too.
the crowd,
If it's possible to wade toward them.
Making your way downtown.
making my way downtown, walking fast and all that. For justice.
I just don't want anybody fucking up the ceremony.
I would say roll strength.
Okay, can I do that too?
You can too.
6 plus
Doing math.
my strength.
18.
I'm trying to find it here. 10.
Alright, the people in between you and the family are very agitated. You're able to get a little bit farther than Gar, but you're not able to get right up to them. At this point, you're now hearing, people saying, why didn't they throw it in? Why aren't they throwing it in? You see the older woman walking towards the family as well, but she's having an easier go of it because the villagers are basically parting for her, whereas they're trying to hold you two back. They're not letting you through because they don't know either of you, so they're just like, why?
You can't trust this face you can't see?
So the old woman comes up to the family. The father is looking defiant. The mother is looking defiant, but also a little scared. The son is just looking like, fuck this shit. And the daughter...
That's Gimpy.
That's Gimpy.
Yeah.
And the daughter is a little worried. And a little bit more... you can almost see like a sorrow in her face. So the old woman comes up to them. She's like, Mr. Obiyashi, what is the meaning of this? This disturbance of our yearly tradition. The old man well, not the old man, the father. He draws himself up to his full height, which not terribly tall, probably 5'8", but he is probably at least a foot taller than the old hunched woman. He looks down at her and basically says, we will not, my family and I will not, I repeat, not partake in this pagan ritual. Now, this is disgusting. And if I had known this kind of thing went on here, I would not have settled here. The old woman looks up at him and she goes, well, 10 months ago you did settle here. You and your family, Saho. And now you and Kimiko and Nobuo and Eriko must all make the sacrifice. That is what all of our citizens have to do. And there's a large cheer from the crowd. They're basically all in agreement. Someone from the crowd basically shouts, they're going to fuck us over. If they don't sacrifice, what's going to happen to us? We're going to have terrible crops. The daughter, Eriko, has...
Eureka? I'm sorry.
Eriko. E-R-I-K-O. She has a pebble in her hand, but she does not have a knife. At least not that you can see.
She's got a knife.
Nobuo, son. Kimiko, the mother. And Saho, the father, have nothing in their hands.
Just anger.
Rage.
Is the crowd still fighting and struggling, or is it calmed down?
It's calmed down, but it's dense enough that you guys wouldn't be able to get much closer.
If we cut some heads up, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Some babbles will
Not
roll.
yet.
The old woman continues, now I know you come from Ryujin. They do things a little bit differently out there, but when we agreed to take you in, we expected you to follow our customs and become a part of this village. Now we've looked the other way in regards to some of your reluctance towards being a part of our community, but this we will not stand by. You all must make the sacrifice. Cheers.
Sacrifice.
Cheers come up, some would say sacrifice.
That wasn't me. Someone in the crowd.
A couple other people.
Wasn't me.
Again, are reiterating, make them sacrifice. Without it, our crops are doomed. Saho looks back down at her. Miss Palmer, I understand your beliefs. I respect your beliefs. You must respect my family's beliefs. We do not believe in your Aos Si, your old gods, or any of this. The young girl, Eriko, she is tossing the stone, palming the stone in her hand.
Okay.
She's also looking towards the fire. Again, you don't see any knives or anything.
Does her stone have blood on it? No.
Saho notices this. He puts his hand on the shoulder of the arm that's, palming the stone. Basically wordlessly saying that, he sees what she's doing and is not a fan of it. Kimiko notices this. She looks down, she sees the stone, and a look of sort of like disgusted concern crosses her face. God. It's basically just a stare down at this point between Saho and Miss Palmer. Neither one is backing down.
I'm going to look at Flintlock.
Does anybody in this crowd seem to be getting aggressive yet? Besides us.
Besides the daughter.
Yeah.
No, they're all basically taking the lead of Mrs. Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
So she's very calm, just basically trying to talk him out of this. All the other people are basically just waiting to see what happens.
These muffins are great.
And you said it's like a stare. Does it seem like a draw at this point, like a tie?
Yeah. So Mrs. Palmer, at this point, shrugs her shoulders. She turns away and says, "Fine." This incites audible gasps and questionable concern from the onlookers, but no one is getting physical. People are asking her, like, what are you talking about? The spirits, they're going to come for us. They're going to attack us. Mrs. Palmer, just kind of hand waves it away and says, our crops will be fine. These people are outsiders. They haven't accepted our beliefs. They've been here 10 months, nearly a year, and yet they are still not a part of us. The fact that they choose to ignore this is only bringing darkness upon themselves. Will not bring darkness onto us. At this point, she kind of shuffles off back to the old man, the old half-elf.
Have you thrown your stone in yet?
Yeah, I did it when everybody else did.
All right.
You were busy catching another one.
The old half-elf, again, looks kind of disgusted, pissed. Leave them be. If they choose to ignore this, ignore our traditions, that's fine. It's only going to bring the unspeakable evil down on them.
What unspeakable evil?
Continue on with your...
It's for me to know and get offended.
Continue on with your
Merriment.
rituals and merriment.
All that shit. Palmer out.
She basically stalks off. The half-elf follows somewhat behind. You see him kind of grab a cask of ale from one of the revelers. Takes a big swig of it as he sort of fades into the darkness. People start to basically go back to whatever it was they were doing. Go back to their homes, back to the tavern. But people, kind of brush up against the Obiyashis, giving them dirty looks, calling them names. But again, no one's getting physical with them. Everyone's at this point is either ignoring them or basically calling them outsiders or freaks.
So back to normal. I'd like to ask one of these folks in the crowd. I'd just like to know, has this ever happened before?
There are whispers and rumors of this happening many, many years ago, before any of us were alive. It was said that if not everyone who was a part of Ashihara joined in on the celebration, it would seem as if the entire town was not praising the gods for what they've given us, and it would only lead to darkness and chaos for us. It has not happened in my life, however, but the ghost stories and the tales that have come out from what people have said about what happened to these people are...
Well, if you don't want that to happen again, I heard of a town way back on the mainland. And this town believed a lot of the same things. They had a lot of the same rituals. And they met a family or two that wouldn't participate. And they knew it was up to them, for the true believers, to give more to make up for it. Now, I don't know if that'd help from protecting the horrors that happened last time.
The stories I've heard is that when the bad things began to happen, the other villagers, they tried to appease the gods in any way they could. It even got so bad as human sacrifices. Now, I don't think anyone would get that far, but...
Do you know what the stories say happened to these folk?
Nothing good.
No.
Nothing good.
So you wouldn't be willing to try to give more just to protect yourself?
I'm gonna kind of touch your ease off on the guy. They've all given a lot.
Roll perception check.
Me?
Yeah.
8.
You can tell he's a little bit wiry, a little bit on edge the more you keep hammering this idea.
I'm not trying to intimidate, I'm trying to charm and deceive.
You lick his face.
It's not working. It's not working.
Alright.
That's
Yeah, it's
true.
not working.
I'll take that hint.
He basically like stalks off, very on edge. You notice that things are kind of going back to what they were before the big finale, if you will. However, it is a little bit more muted. And you start to hear, more whispers. You hear a couple people start telling ghost stories.
Are the Obiyashi still around?
The Obiyashis are gone.
I'm gonna go over to the barrels of food.
Okay.
Take a piece of bread.
Okay.
Take out my dagger. Cut it open.
Mhm.
Fill it with some of the meat that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Just put it right up your ass.
I'm just
Making a sandwich?
kinda, yeah.
It's a new invention.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of munch on that
Okay.
while paying attention. But I haven't eaten anything all day, so.
Whose fault is that? He offered you pig.
I offered you the snout. That's part.
Crunchiest.
That's kind of a lot.
Is Miss Palmer and Cowman?
They both,
Oh, they stalked off, right?
yeah, they
Okay.
are basically gone.
Well, nothing good is going to happen to them. Have you heard these stories, Ginny?
Have I?
Roll history.
How long have you lived in the town?
17.
I will say you have heard the stories.
Okay.
They just basically involve different fairies and spirits, otherworldly creatures coming for the souls of whoever basically spat in the face of the old gods.
Ouch.
But they're basically, at this point, like ghost stories. They're basically told to children to get them to do their chores and whatnot.
Throw the pumpkins in the fire.
It's there are some people who believe them to be like actual history and lore, but most people just kind of hand wave them as like, oh, that's just kid stuff.
I feel like we should look after the Obiyashis.
Somebody's got to. I think we should get them out of town, if anything.
At least keep an eye on their house.
Well,
Do you know
how
where they
are
live,
find-
Jenny?
Do I?
You said you live in the town?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Casa de Gimpy.
They live
Casa Gimperino. Oh shit, the
very
Gimpy house.
very edge of the town.
So if you're here, you would turn, and they would be the last house on the left.
Yes, they would.
Son of a bitch.
I had to. Some low hanging fruit there.
Does the green door look like it's still active? Or is they closing up?
That was a lot. That sounded a lot more magical than it actually. Is the green door still active? I'm like, is there a portal? Oh, he's just asking if there are people in the tavern.
You didn't see someone press the big red button to activate the green door? That's the puzzle, it's the red button.
It does look active. You can see through the windows. It seems like the people inside are kind of quickly forgetting about what went on at the ceremony, and they're basically getting into their cups.
Okay.
You see one person, appears to be a farmer, get dragged out by a woman and kind of dragged off towards the barns.
By the head? Like, how is
Just
he
by
being dragged?
by like the hand.
Okay, alright.
It's a sexual in nature.
Oh,
Consensual or less?
So
Well,
is
the woman is dragging the man, and yes, it is consensual.
Okay.
The man might be a little bit drunk, but he's going with it.
Alright.
I'm curious where, if we're heading this way, where's the Brandy Button estate? House?
It's just a big house.
Back.
Yeah, there are no
Cool.
estates in Ashihara, just larger and
Other
smaller
homes?
houses.
Okay.
Again, this is mainly a farming village.
Yeah. But I'm curious, what your family would be doing. Are you herders? Are you
My dad's an
crop farmers?
alchemist.
Oh, okay.
Their house would probably be, say, like here.
Okay, so it's kind of.
So it's like by the water.
Okay.
It's definitely on that side of the town.
Okay.
Close enough to the main center to also have a shop front.
Yes.
Casa de Brandy Button.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do a B.
Brandy Button.
B.
I like the two little animals. It's a nice touch.
Yes.
In the pen.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
They're kissing.
How do you know they haven't been sacrificed?
How do you know they're not human centipedes?
Oh God.
Well, the little lady seems to know where we're going.
Because
Follow
they're
you.
facing each other.
So where are
No,
we
I mean,
headed?
these are two
We're
separate.
gonna go check on the Obiyashis.
Okay.
You breed them.
Said that way.
So horrible.
What's happening?
Nothing. We're good. Okay, so I'm gonna follow the halfling.
Mm-hmm.
I will too. Where are we headed?
Where are we headed?
I'm still sober.
We were gonna check on the Obiyashis.
Right, that.
Make sure nobody's doing nothing nefarious.
Right.
Why?
Why do you keep asking me?
They're going to be killed in their sleep. There's no doubt.
I'll look out for them.
Uh-huh.
Did
Yeah.
you see that whole thing that happened?
No, I did.
I'm starting to wonder if I want you with us.
If we at least get them out of town, we can save a few lives. I'm all for doing some good.
Okay.
You mentioned the mainland. What do you know about the place?
This and that.
Man of many words.
Yep.
I was born here. Here I will likely die.
I was not born here.
Where do you plan to die?
I don't know yet.
Good answer. Not here. Not
here.
not here in Ashihara. No.
So you're all walking to the house?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so as you're heading that way, you're seeing pockets of people.
I like the saunter. I like the saunter. I saunter.
Still seeing, like,
I mosey.
some people in costume wandering up to different houses, some smaller bonfires. Again, some revelry, but it does not seem as exuberant as it was before the ceremony. A lot of drunk people.
How crowded are we? Or are we kind of like, do we have our own space?
Like within your group, or
Like walking
Yeah,
down the
like
street
with
from the path.
like how far is it from us to the first person?
decent amount? Like you got
Alright.
plenty. It's not.
We got plenty of
Yeah,
room.
it's not super crowded.
But it's not like sketchy quiet.
All right.
Mm. That's the important part.
Gonna unsheath my rapier and just, checking my footing, testing the weight, testing the balance
As you're walking.
as we're walking.
Getting warmed up or something.
Try to stay sharp.
You've got your sword out too.
Still scabbard.
So is this the good part of town or the bad part of town?
It's the good part.
There's no real bad.
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't think there was. Yeah.
Says the Ashihara Chamber of Commerce.
Exactly.
There's no bad part of town.
I mean, I live here, so I like it.
That's why I'm suspicious.
Ashihara, paradise on the water.
Gonna create
Little bit
that
of pagan
brochure.
sacrifice.
Women's.
The sacrifice.
All right.
If you've got webbed feet, maybe don't.
So I'd say you get to the Ashihara house.
Nice.
Sorry, the Obiyashi house.
Yeah.
Lights are dark. Everything's closed up. You might see the light of one candle through the window. That's about it. Like, doesn't look like there's a lot of activity going on.
So they're not home, or they're in bed.
You three hear some voices inside. It sounds like
Sleep talking.
it sounds like the voices of two women having a discussion, but it's muted. You can't necessarily hear what they're saying.
So they're pretty close to the water.
Yes, probably 100 yards or less.
Alright. What's the soil like under my feet?
Say muddy.
Perfect. I'm gonna reach down, pick up a clump of mud, good sized clump of mud, and I'm gonna shout, "Hey! Obiyashis!" Hurl the
Mud pie.
mud against the side of the house. I'm not aiming for a window. but just a clear side of the house.
What are you doing?
What are you doing,
And then
boy?
I shout
Why
at
is he
them,
with us?
"Take that!" Ha!
I'm gonna get away from him. I want to get out of sight of the window.
Dear the blazes, you doing?
Well, if we're looking to help the people that the town hates, I think it'd be in our best interest not to have the whole town thinking we're doing that.
Take on the whole town if I got it.
But you don't,
Saho opens the door. He's got a crossbow in his hand.
Oh shit!
He points it at you four. Since you're all relatively close together.
What did
I'm gonna
you
get
do?
behind a tree.
I'm gonna put my muddy hands behind my back, kind of wiping them off on the cloak as I do so.
Okay.
And I just say, we're just trying to check in on you.
Oh my god! Did you have him roll for that? Deception.
You want me to roll deception? I'll roll deception.
Yeah, roll deception.
14.
Nice.
I don't care what you're doing. I got enough bolts for everyone here.
Mr. Obiyashi, though, I don't think that'll be necessary, sir. We saw what happened at the bonfire, and we're honest to gods, whichever ones you choose to worship. Just come check in on you.
We're here to help.
Indeed.
He's right. I go back behind the tree.
He
Whole
turns.
town against.
He turns the crossbow on you.
Mm-hmm.
Who sent you?
Yes.
Also, does 17 hit your armor class?
Almost.
Did Hyde send you?
The hell is Hyde? We came on our own. We ain't from around here, in case you couldn't tell.
We're not.
I'm
3/4 of us.
gonna persuade. I just walked out of the woods today.
Born yesterday.
I just walked out of the woods today. I came here this evening. No, I'm not invested in what's going on enough to.
If you're not
Wait.
invested enough, then you can just keep on walking.
Please, they're with me. You know me. I'm your neighbor. They're okay.
Oh shit.
Pulling that neighbor card.
The N-word.
I was gonna say that.
He looks like he's going to snap at you, but he doesn't. He bites his tongue. Let's get out of here. All of you.
Mr. Obiyashi, I understand what it's like to be an outsider. I get it.
I don't care what you understand. I don't want any outsiders coming round my family.
Then what do you want?
I just want to be left alone. And stalks back inside the house.
God damn it.
He's not making this easy on us.
No, he's not. I'm gonna walk up to the door.
Oh boy.
I'm not gonna kick it down or nothing. Don't you worry. I'm gonna punch a hole through it.
Grab him by the neck.
Kick with my fist.
I was gonna kind of yell into the crack in the door, just Mr. Obiyashi, saw some men earlier harassing your son. Just worried about your family's safety is all. Try some of these damn fools out here. Try to take some violent action. Just want to make sure that's not going to happen.
Tell him to get out of town.
Well, you can get out of town. Might help leave for a little while. Leave for the night at least.
No response.
Told you they're asleep.
I'll sleep. The one lantern light you can see through the window goes out. So
I'm
now the
gonna
house is in darkness.
sit there for a second. Kind of rub the bridge of my nose. And see
He has a nose.
I'm gonna call out Mr. Obiyashi.
You
What
owe me
if we
$10 that stucco.
What if we smooth things over? So that way you're left alone.
Still nothing.
your daughter wanted to throw that pebble.
Oh snap.
Your character would say it was snap.
In character? Oh snap.
Oh, nip.
And no, he wouldn't.
I'm gonna go around these two yelling at the house. I'll go over to Ginny and just kind of come up beside you. Just look at these two and be like, "How about that bed?"
I don't know if I want to leave them behind. But then again, they know where to find me. We passed my house. Do I
Did
want to
we?
leave?
That sounds good.
No response.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Can I, kind of sneak up to the window and see if I hear those two that were talking before?
Sure.
It's stealth
24.
perception.
I have 10 for stealth.
Jeez.
Oh, where'd you go?
I helped her set up her character, and I looked at that, and I'm like, oh shit. Whoops.
I would say you can hear a couple snatches of words. Those include
Fortnite. Memes.
Pebble.
Trump.
Pebble.
God. Don't tell me what to do. Actress. Devil. And whore.
Holy shit.
Oh, damn.
I don't give boys a whore.
God, there's an actress communing with the devil, and you're like, oh, a lady of the night.
She's getting an earphone over there. Yeah. I imagine she has a little notebook.
But it's all
It's just
in,
like invaluable gossip to share with the family.
it's all
I would
in
love to
hushed
think
tones,
hobbits,
so
that's
it's
all
not-
they do. Just
It's like whisper screaming.
Yeah.
Nice.
Again.
You say that again?
is that with an H or an O?
I'm just gonna kind of like hit my fist on like the door frame, not like knocking, but just kind of like a give up gesture.
Such a creeper.
Just be like, oh, if you feel like you need help at any point, we'll be down at the Brandy. I want to see Brandy
Button.
Brandy Button. Be at the Brandy Button residence. And I'm just gonna clink, clink, clink all the way.
Stealthily. Trying to sneak his spurs.
Well, that's when he puts on his night spurs.
So when I was trying to figure out a halfling last name, I found this website that was like, here's the first part of a last name and here's the second part of a last
I like
name
that.
mixed too. All right, I'll do
Thinking
that.
of Brandy Buck from Lord of the Rings.
I like night spurs.
Yeah, that's it.
You're writing that
Nice.
down.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know,
like a
that just sounded
band or
good.
like some kind
By
of
the
shit
way,
that
I'm
would
not-
get you at night.
I'm not writing anything down, not because I don't love what you're doing, but it's just in character. He wouldn't care enough to pay attention to what's going on. He'll let. Yeah,
I
he'll let
care
someone
about your
film
world.
it.
My character does not give a fuck.
It's alright.
I care about your world. My character.
Perfectly understand.
Let's head back.
Yeah.
If you guys are,
Ready to turn in. If they
yeah, that's what.
if they want to be foolish, they can be foolish.
Yeah, okay.
I'm already behind her.
Let's go back
That
then.
sounds good.
On your way back, basically see the same things you saw when you were coming in. You know, drunk people. As you pass houses, some more festivities going on.
Any more pigs being slaughtered?
No pigs being slaughtered. That appears to have stopped.
We only saw them being cut down, not slaughtered. Just saying.
True. Yeah.
It's the butchery,
Separated. Yeah.
not the mortal coil shuffling.
Yeah,
Mortal
that's basically what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
So we get to the Brandy Button house.
Nice.
Okay.
So,
Can we get a description?
yeah, what does it look like?
Modest, I guess, but humble in that. I don't know what halflings typically live in, what kind of homes, but
How high is the ceiling?
That's hard
6'2", 6'2", 6 foot.
that's a fair. You are almost hitting the ceiling. Think Gandalf in.
Okay.
I can picture
Frodo's
it.
place.
Yep.
That's kind of what it's like.
I like it.
So what time of night is it? I'm wondering what everybody's doing.
Yeah,
in
isn't this
house.
really late?
I'd say at this point it's probably 1:32 in the morning.
Okay.
So I mean, as you walk by, things seem to be simmering down a little bit. Like again, it's not as crazy festive as it was at like 9 or 10, but there are still people who are burning the midnight oil.
Nice.
I laughed because I, for a split second, thought he said 1:32 in the morning. I'm like, that's very specific. It's about 1:32 in the morning.
Let's see. My
1:47.
parents are in bed, and my older sister and her husband, and my second older sister, because I'm the fourth, 5, are chatting having some wine.
Nice.
Whoa! They're off the hinges.
Very creepy strangers.
I introduce them.
How do you introduce him? He's just D?
He's just D, apparently.
Nice.
And my oldest, the second oldest, offers blankets and such.
Nice.
I'm gonna write out my siblings for myself, apparently.
I'm gonna need. You guys are probably gonna need 2 blankets. You might need that.
Yeah.
No, just really tight wrap. I got my cloak. I'm fine.
Do you also hang from the ceiling? Your head almost brushing the floor.
He has to put his knees over the rafters. You have like your head on a stool or something.
Rose.
I'm going to try to strike up a conversation about the Uncle Mildred, whom I have met. I met.
So who's awake?
Iris and Rose, those are the older ones, and then Iris's husband, Sam.
I'd like to talk to Daisy. Sorry.
Okay, we're gonna go there.
No.
Daisy actually died. She and I spent a lot of time together. She and I were really close. We went on adventures together. That's why I'm eager to get out there. But she didn't die in battle or anything. She was just bitten by a snake. But it's why I'm just eager to get out now.
Is there an urn on the hearth?
Yes. With a little daisy painted on it.
Oh,
Okay.
Nice touch.
No, it's sad.
we don't know any of that.
Sorry, I just saw the list of names. And I'm
Like
like,
somebody accidentally knocked the urn over.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how that came up. Did you ask? Where's the other sister?
no,
Totally could have come up.
no, I was just making a joke out of character. I'll be talking to. So which ones are awake?
Iris and Rose.
I'm gonna talk with Iris.
Okay.
Striking up chit chat about the festival.
I'm going to talk to the husband about Uncle Mildred.
I don't think if they've met. Yeah, they've probably interacted, but it's my uncle. He's by marriage, so it might be more acquaintance than
For
anything.
sure. Yeah, but I'm going to tell him everything I know about.
Alright. And he's willing to listen.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Anyway, Uncle Mildred, he could drink a pint like you wouldn't believe it. He'd just down it and then ask for another. And we would go to different pubs, sometimes in the Hidden Road? What's the name of the road that goes through the
Thieves Road.
Thieves Road. He was a regular there, and they knew him, respected him. Did a lot of great things for them. Drank most of their ale. And I'm going to be just drinking tall glass after tall glass of wine. Try to warm up a little bit after that dive.
I'm gonna sit in the corner, I'm sitting in a quiet spot with Iris.
Just like in a chair and your big legs.
Rose offers drinks, water, food for anybody that would like anything.
Please.
I don't take anything.
I'll just have another glass of wine.
Thank you, ma'am, but I'm alright.
And I'm just catching up with Iris, old pal. Just hearing her thoughts on the festival. I want to hear, whether she believes in it. Was she there? Did she partake in it? What does Sam think?
You're getting a lot more into the characters than I thought about.
I'm listening to you talk about Uncle Mildred.
Learning some of the stories. The DM can also pick up the slack.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I can.
Maybe, yeah. I didn't plan out how much
Okay.
they know about the stuff
So-
I didn't yet know about.
Okay. So I would say the parents
Who were asleep, right?
who were asleep, everyone went to the ceremony, everyone partook in the ceremony. Parents came back and immediately went to sleep.
But do you believe?
Who are you asking that to?
Iris.
She's the oldest sister.
Yes, I do.
She would.
Fucking wood.
No.
Suddenly it's really catty.
Give me 2 shoes.
No, I meant to, that does seem her type from what I have surmised about her.
And why?
Do you believe in what gods do you believe in? And why do you believe in those?
I don't have any.
I'm sorry for you. I'll say a prayer for you.
All right.
Fake and dumb. After a while, I'm for sure gonna turn in.
Okay.
Find a nice spot where I can sprawl. Probably just even on the floor if there isn't an available bed, because I've got blankets.
I'll take a rough corner.
It's a big spacious living room.
Nice.
I'll take a rough corner.
Any open wall that's got like a view of the door. I'm just gonna like lean up against,
Strip the hat.
hat down, one knee up, sword like resting, like leaning his shoulder, and just.
I'm not touching it. Just like mess with him while he's sleeping.
Are you familiar with Rurouni Kenshin?
Oh yeah.
I'm just picturing that pose. You've seen it. Just
Yep.
that.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly.
Yep.
It.
Alright, so everyone has gone to sleep?
Mm-hmm. Do we enjoy the benefits of
Do you
long
know? Have you read up anything on my?
rest? Do you enjoy
race?
the benefits of a sweet
little.
slumber?
Okay. Technically. just
Okay.
6 hours of inactivity, not actual sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just If that bears any effect on
What are
whatever's
you,
about to
Mormon?
happen next.
What do you think Mormons do?
They're industrious.
Instead of sleep, they stare at doors,
They have
waiting
sex
for
with their
people
18 wives.
Obviously.
And sleep eventually.
I don't know.
That's what Sunday's for.
The Lord is
Now is that one of the wives or one of the days? You can fall asleep on Sunday.
Sunday
She
doesn't
don't mind.
doing the work.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So everyone is resting.
Quite well.
Time
That
passes.
rough corner.
And my room is actually right next to the living room, so I can kind of hear what they're up to, make sure they're not getting into
Sun
Eerily still.
Just snoring. Snoring like you
Really?
fucking believe. It's just a house.
It is a halfling house too, so
yeah.
A stable foundation, but it's, timber.
That's what I think.
You go outside in the morning, there's all these shingles in front of the door.
you picture like part of your clothes like getting close to your mouth, and every time you exhale, inhale.